Hey, what's going on everyone? Vasco here and welcome back to the channel. And I really want to talk to you guys about Sebastian Vettel because every single year in this stage of the year that we are in, where our season predictions have been put in, our season reviews have been made, there's a topic that I see come time and time again, and that's regarding Sebastian Vettel's future and how he's going to get back into that winning form that he had at Red Bull for those 4 years. And the reason that I really wanted to talk to you guys about this is because I really think that he's not coming back to that form and that everyone is trying to project a future on Sebastian that's not ever going to happen in his time with Aston Martin. Now, I understand why people do this. Sebastian is one of the most lovable guys in the paddock, and he was one of the drivers that made me get into Formula One. So, Sebastian was winning with Red Bull around the time I got started into watching Formula One. So, he lost to Jenson Button in 2009 and got in second in the championship, but then he won for 4 years in a row. So, when you're starting to watch a sport, it's really easy to start liking the guy that's winning every single race. And for me, that guy was Sebastian. So Sebastian won 4 titles in a row with Red Bull, and then he made the move to Ferrari where things never really worked out for him. Not entirely his fault sometimes Ferrari's fault, sometimes his fault. In 2018, they really had a missed shot at a title, but overall, I think that Sebastian and Ferrari was going to be that combination after he won those 4 titles with Red Bull that would make Sebastian the new Michael Schumacher, and even Schumacher said the same thing and helped Seb win one of his world titles in 2012 by letting him buy in Brazil. But I think we were all with the wrong expectations. A German driver that was passionate about Formula One and that loved Ferrari more than anything else. Where have I seen that before? Well, we all thought that Sebastian Vettel was going to be the new Michael Schumacher, and he was so young, with just 23 to 24 years old. He already had 4 titles, so he was about the same age as Max Verstappen is when he wins his first world title, but he already had 4. So why not? Sebastian was going to be the guy who was going to break every single record in Formula One. The hype was on him, the media was on him, and we were expecting this titanic battle between him and Lewis Hamilton for the future of Formula One. Now, back in those times, Lewis only had 2 championships when Seb moved to Ferrari, but we were expecting this titanic battle, but then it never happened. And I think that Sebastian's form once he went to Ferrari really got in some bad shape because when he was on top of the world because he won 4 world championships, Ferrari didn't really deliver him a car that was capable of winning championships. So for 2015 and 16, the Ferrari wasn't able to win championships. Okay, we won a few races here and there, but then it never really got close to the Mercedes. But in 2017 and 2018, I think those were the last opportunities that Sebastian had to win a championship. So Ferrari delivered him with a very innovative and groundbreaking car in some ways once the regulation changed to these wide body cars that we saw disappear at the end of 2021. But I think that Ferrari really adapted to those regulations quite well and managed to deliver 2 cars in 17 and 18 that were championship winning cars. Now, in 2017, the Ferrari and the Mercedes were about head-to-head and level on pace for the beginning of the season, but then I think that Mercedes really outdeveloped Ferrari during the course of the season. But in 2018, I think that for about 80 to 90% of the season, Ferrari had the best car. And it was through Sebastian Vettel's mistakes at races like Germany, where he crashed off the lead in Hockenheim at his home Grand Prix, and some weird strategic decisions that Ferrari made along the way that by this point we are all familiarized with, that Ferrari makes some weird strategy choices sometimes. And I think that due to these reasons, Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari were never able to win a title. And through all of this time, and even through 2019-20, we were seeing that Ferrari didn't deliver Seb with a title-winning car, but the hope was always there. The hope that Sebastian just wasn't winning because he didn't have the car. The hope that Sebastian from 2010 to 14 was coming back, and that wonder kid that won a race at Toro Rosso of all teams was coming back, and that once he had that car that could fight with Lewis Hamilton, he was coming back. But what we saw was a different story. What we saw was Sebastian never really coming back to that form. And what we have now at Aston Martin is really a driver that I don't think has any way of coming back to that previous glory, because I think that Sebastian's best days are now behind him. And I think that with all of these young drivers coming in, so Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, etc., George Russell, Sebastian's time is up. I think he doesn't have enough time. I think he doesn't have enough career progression left in him to win another championship. And I think that's not going to happen with Aston Martin either, because even though I think that Aston has all the right resources in the right place to make a move for the championship, who do you think that Aston Martin will favor? The guy who already has won 4 championships, or the son's boss? Who do you think they will favor? So I don't see Sebastian moving teams again. I see him retiring at the end of some year with Aston Martin and not move to another team again. And also, I don't see any top team like Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, etc., wanting Sebastian back. But I think that we should not let these years that Sebastian didn't win the championship tarnish his reputation, because on his day, Sebastian Vettel is one of the best drivers in Formula One. And just to sum things up, Sebastian Vettel's teammate at Red Bull on those title-winning years was Mark Webber, and Mark actually has a quote from when he left Red Bull, which I think describes Sebastian Vettel's career pretty precisely, with just a few mistakes at the end. So the quote goes, "He's got his championship titles and his results early. He's going to have a kid early, and I think he will retire early. He'll probably take a blast in the red car, then sayonara." And this is something that I think we saw with Sebastian. So he was the youngest world champion, the youngest 2-time world champion, the youngest 3-time world champion, and by far the youngest 4-time world champion. He was the youngest race winner for a while. And all of that came pretty early in his career. So in his first 5 full years in Formula One, the guy won 4 titles. But I think that after those 4 titles, his only shot at getting more titles was if Ferrari was able to deliver him a title-winning car, or if he could make a move to Mercedes somehow. But those doors never really opened. He tried to stick it with Ferrari. Ferrari was really troubled during the turbo hybrid era and wasn't able to deliver him a car. So I think that was his shot with Ferrari, and I think that the old Sebastian isn't coming back. I think he will be a great midfield driver for the next season, but if Aston Martin isn't able to deliver a car that's regularly on the podium, I think that Sebastian is going to retire at the end of this season, at the end of next season. And I think it will be a very sad day for Formula One, because Sebastian Vettel is honestly one of the best guys, best drivers, most talented drivers in Formula One, and is one of the drivers I love the most, and one of the reasons that makes me tune up to every single race at every single weekend. But I really don't think that we will see the old Sebastian back, because the time opportunity is really not there anymore. So this minute for this video, and this has been a more casual style of video, so let me know what you thought in the comments on below, and I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think is going to happen with Sebastian Vettel, and if he has a shot at winning another title. So this minute for this video, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to check my latest video right here, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!